Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We are going to talk about XRP. And once again, this is the one-day chart. We're sitting here just above 42 cents. And right now, everybody's saying the bottom is in. Pack your bags now. We're about to take off. But nobody really knows for sure. I still see other people calling for a 32 cent XRP. You know, Bitcoin dominance is still also holding up very well. I'm just waiting to see where we go from here. All you do is buy up as much as you can, sit back, stay patient, and wait for it to happen. Very few retail holders today have a large sum of XRP. I like this visual better. Now that this visual is back, I think we are getting close. This always seems to come back around time and time again. People who have heard of crypto, people who own crypto, people who have heard of XRP, people who own XRP, people who own more than 25K XRP. And you see the small little block right here. But you know, eventually, everybody is going to know what XRP is. Mass adoption is going to happen at some point. Ripple is going to replace Bitcoin talk all over the mainstream media news. It's just a matter of time. And you know, we might be early, but we are also very lucky. But soon, time is going to run out. Implementation of a single global currency will impact every human being on Earth. Level playing field. Additionally, it will bring the opportunity to benefit from a one-time $36 trillion value increase to assets worldwide. This comes from Smoke. You know, what we see happening right now, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You either take advantage of this opportunity or you regret it for the rest of your life. The cool things about facts and evidence is that it doesn't matter if you believe in them or not. They are still true whether you believe in them or not and applies to everyone. The IMF is exploring ways in which the SDR could be more widely used in private transactions. They are changing the rules around ESDRs and SDRs. And that's going to be very good for us because a lot of people always thought that XRP would become an ESDR. Why would the IMF, though, pick Ripple? There's various signs, but here's a few. Brad Garlinghouse presentation to the IMF on XRP network. Ripple is the only company that monitors suspicious activity on the blockchain. And Ripple was selected to serve on the IMF advisory board. You know, that's why I'm always telling you, look at what the BIS is saying. Look at what the IMF is saying. Look at what the ECB is saying. Even the Fed has hinted multiple times at Ripple in the past. I think when we are holding XRP, we are holding the future. And I've always thought that way. So I'm going to use my own post here. So there is a good chance that XRP could become an SDR or ESDR. If that was to happen, we would be looking at $1,000 XRP easily. And now with the IMF changing the rules on SDR, retail investors would be able to hold them. Now, even if XRP didn't become an SDR, imagine the massive liquidity pool that the IMF would create, locking away XRP for ODL and using XRP as a bridge for SDRs. The demand would be incredible, pushing the price of XRP to astronomical heights. So, an SDR is this: an international type of monetary reserve currency created by the International Monetary Fund. Wow, IMF in 1969 that operates as a supplement to the existing money reserves of member countries. So that's what an SDR actually is. Think of it like a pool that these countries can borrow from. And imagine how big that liquidity pool would be that the IMF creates for XRP. And that's why I always said, I'm not looking at how many transactions happen using XRP. I'm looking at all the XRP that's going to be locked away, creating that massive demand. That's what's really going to drive the price of XRP. Now, people have said this is old news, but this is more relevant today than it was years ago. Think about what is happening today around XRP and XLM. The rail system is now almost in place, and the world is ready for a level playing field. When people looked at this years ago, you had to have a vision to see it. Now it's almost complete, and soon this will be the system we are all using daily at a global level. That's why I mentioned this in yesterday's video, because it's more relevant now than ever before. If you went back to, say, 2018, 2019, and someone talked about a one world currency or a world's reserve currency or the possibility of XRP and XLM being a world's reserve currency, nobody would believe you back then. Very few people actually could see this coming. There was still a lot of XRP holders back then, but a lot of people were just anticipating the next cycle, anticipating a new all-time high for XRP back in 2021. But anybody who actually started looking at the way Ripple was, putting different rails in place here and there, and it was at a very small level back then, they could see what was coming. And today, it's almost complete. The worst statement people in the crypto space have been making is that the BRICS will never use Ripple Tech and XRP because they are a U.S. company. Remember, people keep saying they're never going to use that RippleNet technology. They're going to come up with their own system. They would build their own system bullshit FUD. That's the way I look at that. They're not going to build a whole new system. Ripple is now a global company thanks to the SEC versus Ripple case. And I think that happened on purpose. But that's not the most important part. Look at Project Enbridge from the BIS. That tells the real story. The Fed is involved, the World Bank, the IMF, countless central banks, and most BRICS countries are also mentioned inside the white paper, including China. And who does the BIS and the IMF mention multiple times? XRP and XLM. The technology that Ripple and Stellar provides and the power of XRP and XLM is what makes the BIS and IMF vision come to life. Without it, none of this would even be happening. This is why you cannot let the FUD and shakeouts get to you. This is bigger than most people realize. It is life-changing. Everybody argues about the BIS and the BRICS and the IMF and the Fed. But, they've been the ones putting the treasure map in front of you for years now. You look at it, all the countries that are looking to join the BRICS, they already have Ripple rails inside of them. I almost think it's like a requirement if you want to join the BRICS at this point, because it's too ironic that every single country is tied to Ripple, whether it be directly or through partnerships. Riddle me this, and I don't like riddles, but I thought this was pretty good. This comes from Rocky Morningside. So David says, don't be so quick to judge. Maybe it's filled with books about climate change. The world's biggest ship docked in the UK yesterday, carrying 24,000 containers of consumer stuff. More than anything, this image encapsulates everything that is wrong with our society. So when David said, don't be so quick to judge, maybe it's filled with books about climate change, Somebody actually tried to decode this. Quick to judge, meaning case against Ripple to end soon. Filled with books, meaning order books will be filled with cash. About climate change, meaning everything is about to change. Evergreen, meaning forever green. I just thought that was great and I wanted to share it with all of you. But David, he just probably put something out there, just to combat all the, criticism around Evergreen and all those containers going to the UK. Most likely it didn't mean nothing, is what I'm saying. Most people don't realize this yet, but we are all in this together. Everybody on this planet right now is facing the same problems and the same future. The fourth industrial revolution is happening in every part of the world. This global push started with COVID. It will end with the following. CBDC, every country pushing for digital currency. Digital ID, every country will require one soon. AI, the rise of AI will be a worldwide problem. New world order, the elites want one world everything. Chaos, crime, and migration happening everywhere. Economic collapse and inflation. We can't even get along on the simplest topics, and people want you to fight back against what they are planning next. United globally is what we have become. No matter what country you live in, no matter where you are from, everything that I talk about on this channel, pretty much, because I bring up CBDCs all the time, digital IDs, AI push, all of it, it affects every person around the world. And there was a time when you would see a problem and you would say, well, that's a China problem. Or maybe that's an Ireland problem. Whatever country. You could put any country in there. Now it's a global problem. And COVID started that shift. Because COVID affected everybody on this entire planet. And so will the 6 things that I just mentioned. And that's why it's so important to invest in the right way now. So you can get rich before a CBDC comes, before they require you to have a digital ID. I still think you're going to have a digital ID because you're going to need to have a digital wallet, which will require a digital ID. But it doesn't mean you have to live under the CBDC system. It doesn't mean you have to be tied to the universal basic income system. Not if you're rich. I still think you could break away from that. But that's why I always tell people, instead of fighting with each other, people need to start to come together because we will get enslaved by a system that they are creating. And when I say they, I mean the elites. The German government is still selling Bitcoin. Now, I just seen yesterday that they were buying Bitcoin. So now what is it? Are they buying it or are they selling it? And imagine holding a cryptocurrency that you have to rely on something like this for the price to go up. Because Bitcoin has no use case, no real utility. It's filled by hype. It's fueled by people believing in it. They believe the price will continue to go higher. Eventually, we are going to see that change. What is going to happen is a massive shift is going to turn, and utility is going to be talked about by BlackRock on the mainstream media news and other big financial institutions. Central banks will be talking about the end of Bitcoin, that Bitcoin is more of a threat now than ever before. When that narrative shifts, you want to make sure you are holding utility-driven cryptocurrencies because eventually I think we will see the fall of Bitcoin. I think it's going to start with Tether and end with BlackRock. But the narrative around it is already shifting. Everything is about illicit activity and who's using Bitcoin. You ever take notice to that? Once they create that narrative, then they create something to solve that problem. And that's what I think they're working on right now. I think Tether is on the verge of collapsing. It's going to come with regulations, and then we'll see where we go from there. But I do believe Bitcoin is going to have one massive run-up left in it, and I think it's going to happen very soon. But if I was a retail Bitcoin investor, I would definitely break away from it as soon as I possibly can, because I don't know where we're going to go from here, but the world is changing very fast. But you know, until it all happens, you got to stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.